writing about Shawshank Redemption, which is surprisingly a redemption plot. And most stories that involve flashback, I mean, it's one of the standard movie formats that it's told in flashback, is a redemption plot. And that is usually what people are thinking of, whether they know it or not, in e-learning when they're writing something based on flashbacks. So usually what's happened in a redemption plot, it's a bit like, someone has led a bad life and then redeems themselves, but they may only redeem themselves in sort of realizing what they've done wrong. The Shawshank Redemption is very clever because the protagonist is Red. I forgot the name of that actor guy. It's not Tim Robbins. Tim Robbins isn't the protagonist. He's like a Christ figure because he's done nothing wrong. So he takes the sins of the prisoners and sort of he takes the burden of their pain, if you like, and enables the other person to be free. That's a bit, I don't think we're going to go there in learning, but what you do is that in those it's essentially very much a moral tale. It involves a lot of compression, but also what you've got to be aware of, that you've got to write it in quite a heightened way. So the other thing I would say, because it's like a little fable almost, and I think it's quite a good idea to try to play to that and try and make it a nice little, like a story. It's more like a story or a fable. And the other thing that you see in Shawshank Redemption is that every flashback has an arc in its own right. So by which I mean a little shape to the story. So it's not just, this happened and then this happened. There's a scene in Shawshank Redemption when the prisoners are doing some chores on a roof. They hear Tim Robbins hears the warden talking about some problem he's got, and that's when he realizes he could help him with his taxes, and he almost gets thrown off the roof because he dares to speak to the warden. But it's a whole little story which starts off with them being completely downtrodden and ends up with him being, taking a step forward. So each of these little flashbacks has a little story with one of those arcs in it. If you can achieve that, that's a really, really works nicely.